Welcome. We are here. We are Tekken. Get used to it. Welcome, everyone. This is the Gaming Up North podcast. Oof. What episode are we on? Is it 13?
12, I think. 12 or 13, maybe. Yeah.
12. Yeah. Talking about Tekken this time. So, we've got a good old bumper crop of hosts here, co-hosts and hosts. Right. I have my, as usual, lugubrious co-host, Mr. Adam Ashbridge. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right, actually. I mean, as I say, I've had some good news today. Shall I let the people know?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. Well, my dad had been diagnosed with bladder cancer last year, so obviously that had got me like proper anxious about like everything about him. He had an appointment today to get the camera inside to have a look, and he's totally cancer-free now.
Amazing.
So,
and as we've said many times on all the podcasts, fuck cancer. So yes,
Yep. So me dad is like the fucking strongest person I know. I'm pretty sure he just willed cancer away. Like it's fucking crazy.
He has
stronger
that
than Mighty Chris.
I
thought Chris was the strongest person alive.
My dad is basically like been pretty much dead, like, and he's just been like, "Not now, I'm not bothered." Like, so,
do you have Highlander blood in you there?
I don't know, but he's
he's not
strong...
good. He won't know until he kills his dad on hallowed ground or whatever.
Yeah, there can only be one. The quickening.
Quickening.
But
okay, I need to introduce Paul though before we get too far into this business.
I don't need to be introduced. I'm nobody. I'm just a little pleb.
He's the podcast hostess with the mostest.
Oh, bless.
Paul from Nerdy Up North, the flagship as we call it around here. Chris was saying he hopes I do my signature catchphrase, and I think it's turned into welcome apparently. And I really don't know if I've stolen that from somewhere. I hope not.
Well, get it copyrighted quick.
Okay.
Right. I'm making a t-shirt now with a picture of Demon Sonic Jake in welcome with Tiny Chris next to him just like cheering on like
yes Chris is our strongest soldier.
Headbutting an ice cream machine in the corner of the
don't reveal the news stories with the I was about to say the scoops there, but that would be an ice cream pun.
So let's just go off air now. We'll kind of do that.
Nah, I'm not gonna say it. Right, we're here to talk about Tekken, which is probably one of those game series that's just always been there during I would guess most of our gaming lives. I mean, I know it started on the PlayStation, but I think for a lot of us in the UK, like when the PlayStation hit, that was like unlocked a whole new level of like video game fans.
Yeah,
obviously there was like millions. Yeah, there was millions of Sega fans before that, but I remember seeing Tekken on like some random possible family members like PlayStation, you know, like I think I would have been like in Yorkshire with my Yorkshire family because I'm half Barnsley. If anyone didn't know, and it was one of those things where I was the kid, and you know how sometimes it's like, oh, can you entertain this random child and it's like, can he
put him in front of Tekken?
Can he play on your video game console? And I've been the older child now, like, you know, since in that situation. It's like, I guess I can play video games with this kid. It's like, I think I just
like
watched
of the nerdy torch type thing.
Well, no, I think it's just like, oh, you like games and this child likes games, you could be friends. But yeah, I just remember watching and not really knowing what was happening, and just like it looked like block fighters. I mean, let's be serious for the first one. I don't know if you guys saw the first one in motion.
The first one I can remember because I didn't. The first one I actually saw was at the Metro Center Arcades. It was in Metroland.
Really?
it was before Namco and stuff, where they had not a Tekken 2 but a Tekken 1 machine.
Oh wow!
And it was one of the first machines of its time, because it's going to be showing me age, where it was £1 to play. Because most arcade games, if you go to Seaburn, was 20p. If you go to, like, the Mental Centre, was like a 50p a play. This was the first £1 machine that I ever played.
That's rough when you're a kid, though, isn't it?
Yeah, so I went through a week's pocket money in 10 minutes just to try and play it for a bit. But because I remember the first 3D fighting game, like not like the 2D like Street Fighter or like the kind of like Mortal Kombat, was Virtual Fighter.
Yeah,
on the Mega Drive.
Virtual Fighter. I remember that one.
That was blocky as fuck. So it was literally just blocks punching each other. So seeing this was just blew my mind. Like, I was like, what the hell is this? And it was very basic. It wasn't like, but at the time it was revolutionary. It was something that you hadn't seen before. So that was kind of my like first introduction to seeing, like, rather than the console game, was like the arcade machine, and it looked beautiful on the machine.
Because when you think about it, Tekken's kind of like, the characters are just humans for the most part. There's especially in one, there was a few weird guys, but a lot of it was like, this is, old man, this is his son, like, and it's like when you'd seen Street Fighter before that, and we're like, oh, here's like a green guy from the jungle, here's like, here's a man who can stretch his arms across the screen, like, it did seem a little bit like simplified, or like, I don't want to say boring, but when you actually got to like play it, like, I think that's where Tekken took off. It's like, oh, this is like really fun to just control. Whereas I think Street Fighter, until you know some moves, is a little bit frustrating to control. Like, it doesn't like, just like, fights don't just explode like in Tekken. Like, even if with two people who've never played before.
I think with, like, as you said, with Street Fighter, like Mortal Kombat, it was very repetitive. You got a move set, and it didn't really change if you like worked out how far you had to be to do a sweep, as long as you do the uppercut. Like, for them games, it was like the excitement of doing like Mortal Kombat was the excitement of like getting to the end and trying to do the finishing move. That was where the joy of Mortal Kombat. Where Tekken, it was taking you through the journey, but like each fight was completely different, because it didn't matter if, like, it mattered who you were matched up to, because each person had the strengths and the weaknesses. And I know, like, say, my favorite game, and like, say, I'll go on record and say it is the greatest like fighting game that has ever been made, and I'll make that controversial opinion now, is Tekken 2. It just had that perfect balance of a move set that wasn't too complicated, where you could remember it, but you could then push it out a little bit to do like the extra special moves. It had interesting stories, and it was the first one as well where you kind of, like, I know Street Fighter, you got the ending scenes, but it was like little graphics like when you finished it, but you got little movies at the end for each character. And I fucking love that. And like, see, when it comes to Tekken 2, it's the perfect balance, because there was a lot of games that tried to copy it. There was, I think it was Toshinden or something like that. Battle Toshinden, I think it was called.
Battle Arena Toshinden. No, you're right. That's what it was called. Yeah. That might have been a PlayStation 1 launch game as well.
It was, I think, yeah. Then it was before that. There was Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct takes a lot, like Tekken takes a lot of the Killer Instinct model, but just simplifies it to the degree where it's enjoyable. Because Killer Instinct was one of the most frustrating games, because you could, if you knew someone who could play it and they knew the combo, they could do a 200 move combo and you couldn't do anything. It was literally just go, what the fuck am I playing this game for?
It was like, I can't remember. There's a term for it, because it basically, people call Mortal Kombat that now, where it's literally just you press the buttons in order and your character like never stops type of thing. Like, but yeah, like Killer Instinct is famous because like it would have the guy who would shout about the combos. So like if you had a certain amount of hits, he'd be like ultra combo like at the end of it and stuff. So like everyone wanted to do that because it was like it would get everyone all hyped up. Like Adam, can you remember the first time you laid eyes on the King of Iron Fist tournament?
First time for me was at an arcade.
Really?
For Tekken 2.
Oh man, I'd love to like have that machine as an ornament.
It must have been. I mean, I must have been about 8 or 9, maybe.
Yeah.
Were you still 7 foot tall then, though?
I was quite short as a kid.
I remember you as a kid running around the little street, you little cocky bastard. I still remember you.
What was that? Hold on, we're not talking about Tekken anymore. What was that cocky about? Like, what was?
I don't know. I thought you were a bit cocksure about yourself. Like you had good right to be. You were a good-looking lad. So.
Well, I mean, well, I suppose.
But you had poor taste in friends because you knocked about with my brother, so that's just. Your judgment might have been lapsed back then, but you've done right by now, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm friends with you now, so it makes it all.
It's called upgrading now. It's upgrading.
Jesus. But yeah, so Tekken 2 in the arcade was the first one I ever played, and like Paul, I was just like, at first I was like obviously really shit at it, but I was like, this is the best game I've played at this point in my life, like.
Yeah, it just felt good, didn't it? Like,
yeah,
like
just
that was
floor. Like it was just smooth, even though the graphics obviously back then they were class to us then, but now you're like, oh, but just the flow of the moves and like the cutscenes and stuff that would happen like after the fights, and it's just like
I'm just trying to look up what the Tekken 2 machine looks like, and from what I can tell, it's got a giant angry Hayachi face on the side. So like, do you think that would have drew you to the machine like as a kid? Like just get
straining old man.
It is.
Yeah.
Still with his black hair at that point.
No, like, but then the first one I owned was Tekken 3.
Oh, okay.
Right. Was that PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2?
There's still one.
PlayStation 1, because Tekken 3 came out in 97.
Right.
And I didn't think it was that early.
But, do you know that what, like one of the PS2 sort of early games was Tekken Tag Tournament? That was that was how it arrived on the PS2. So it was like they basically did a greatest hits. So they didn't have to like put a massive amount of like, you know, they didn't have to build new characters. They're like, hang on, let's do a good graphics pass on all the old characters first and see how that goes.
Because to be fair though, I know like if you look back at Tekken 2, it does look blocky now, but it wouldn't have took much to basically upscale like for what we got. Because as Adam said, the control method and like the fluidity of the moves was just so smooth. They wouldn't have had to upscale or change anything for the control patterns. It would have literally just smoothed out the pixels and made it a little bit less blocky type thing.
Yeah, I mean Tekken Tag, from what I remember, looked excellent at the time because everyone was like all shiny and like, you know, had nice outfits and everything. Because that was the thing I remembered about Tekken 3, and we like played it the other week just to get a reminder. They made everyone's outfits a lot more complicated, but then you lost a bit of like readability. Like it looks kind of a bit muddy. You know, like
a bit murky looking eye.
Yeah, like Jin's sort of in like or like Paul's in like a full biker outfit and stuff, and it's like, yeah, I see what you're going for, but it's not quite there yet for readability.
Is that the one where they're given the weird beard that just made him look like a proper, like let's say like a proper I was going to say something I shouldn't, so I'm just being good.
I was going to say there's a P word going to come out your mouth.
Yeah, I nearly said it. I was like, no, I'm a guest. I'm not going to be responsible for anyone else getting in trouble. I am on my best behaviour, yes.
This is our show, goddammit. This is our show, goddammit.
This is a classy show.
This is something I did want to ask you, though, Paul. Like, what's it like having a character with your name? And did you like him as a kid? Or were you like, oh, man, the lame guy's got my name? Like, how did you feel at the time?
One of the things, because he did have a striking look, let's be honest.
He's iconic,
it was very kid and play, shall we say. But I think his moveset was a little bit too slow. Like he had power punches. He had power punches, but it took an age for him to do it. And if you put him like up against any like the quick characters, it was a total mismatch. But It almost felt like it was almost like a piss take of like Street Fighters like Ryu and Ken type thing with like martial law and
mixed them together. I suppose.
He was like a karate based character, wasn't he, Paul? Yeah, like karate and judo.
Like, yeah, all I remember about him is that straight punch he would do and punching through walls.
And the longer you held the punch button as well, the stronger it got. So it was like trying to all about time. And I suppose if you were like
last week when we displayed how powerful that punch was.
I think I did hit it.
It destroyed me. Like after one punch, I had like a millimeter of health left afterwards.
That was one thing I couldn't believe about Tekken 3. Like how many moves would take off like upwards of 60-70% health with one hit. Yeah. I'm like, what's going on?
I think you could go in the settings and change the health meters as well, so you give you a bit of extra strongest, because that was always like a good thing you can do.
But we were on 100%, so like that was like base level like damage. Right. But yeah, it was definitely surprising. Like when I did that stupid Jack stomp move, it just took off half the health.
But there was there was so many different interesting characters when it comes to like the games you could play that. But I know like Paul's just one, but I've got an interesting story though. Because when I remember because I bought Tekken 2 for the PlayStation. Like I say, that was one of the first games I bought with my birthday money type thing.
Nice.
And I used to play on it, and because like say when me and Adam grew up in the same area, like Riot, it was like a small like. At the time, it was very small. Everyone knew each other. One of my best friends at the time, we used to call him Jammy, James Richardson. Like say, he's a character. Let's put it that way. But he was a canny lad. I remember because on a weekend we used to always go around each other's houses and play on different games depending on what games we play. But he would knock on mine at 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm still asleep. My mum would let him in, and he would just turn on my PlayStation to play on Tekken while I'm fast asleep in bed. So I'd wake up and he's Jammy sitting on the floor playing on my PlayStation. I'm playing on Tekken. I'm going, what the fuck are you doing?
But, was he at least unlocking characters for you and stuff like that?
He's doing the work.
No, because I would have been pissed off because I was one of the ones that liked to unlock them myself. It's like, no, I can't have that until I have done this bit. But no.
Oh, well, you had to fight them as well. Do you remember that? It would be like,
yes.
So like, I'm pretty sure in Tekken it was like, beat the story with this guy and you'll unlock sort of a clone character. You know, like beat it with Yoshimitsu and like Kunamitsu will show up, like the lady version, and it's like.
If you beat Jax, you get the panda and stuff like that. Or something.
No, it was Prototype Jack.
It was a prototype.
He looked kind of like Dutch from Predator, like as a robot.
The panda, didn't there? There was a Kumru unlocked the panda.
Because but this was before the internet as well, so you couldn't get cheat codes to say, or you couldn't even look up online to say who you needed to beat to unlock which character. You literally had to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I remember one because I'm like during this time there was walkthrough guides you could buy.
Oh yeah. Well, they'd be like sellotaped on the front of magazines and stuff.
But if you were impatient, you didn't want to wait week by week for the Games Master magazines to tell you. I remember I bought Tomb Raider 2 because that game was fucking impossible. Anyone who says it completed without a walkthrough, you're a liar.
Nah, too scary.
But I remember getting the Tekken one just because I wanted to learn all of King's moves. Because me and Jake and Adam are like wrestling fans, so and a lot of the time the wrestling fighting games were okay. They weren't like, I think it was like the WrestleMania one where it's like Shawn Michaels and it's like 2D and they're not really doing wrestling moves. It's just like a beat 'em up. But when you got like to play as King and you could do like a powerbomb or a Frankensteiner or a moonsault.
Yeah,
it was fucking amazing. And then you unlocked Armored King, and he was doing like the super pile drive. I was like, I need to learn these moves. So it was like all about like going back, forward, up, down, and doing everything like in the right way, but remembering to try and block and not take on damage at the same time, which
because if you get obsessed about hitting something, you can just run into like some attacks. But like, so we can do like a quick character rundown. I was looking at like this list, right? And King 1 and King 2, because it is two separate people at some point. They're one of the only characters who's been in like every Tekken game to date. There's not that many. It's basically like King, Nina, and Paul are like the only ones who've been in every Tekken game so far, like every single one.
Martial Law not been in every one, has he? Or has it been a few ways missed?
well, there's Marshall and Forrest, isn't there? So
yes, no, yeah. But it's the same moveset. It's like, let's do the spinny upside down kick.
I think is Forest Law the son, and then they were like, we don't care about Forest anymore, and it just went back to Marshall for like every game.
Thing is, that's the one thing I could never keep up with is all the different characters, because I think like what we're up to now, Tekken 8. That's the one I'm waiting for the price to come down. Yes, I am that cheap. I'm not paying 60 quid for Tekken. I'm sorry. The last one I played was Tekken 7. Now that was still fun, but it kind of wasn't as interesting or as fluidity as I think it's. They try to build it for an online platform rather than like the tournament franchise, which again you will get more playability, but like cunts online, let's be honest, spoil a lot of games that you play them type of games.
I would never play Tekken online properly. I think I maybe touched a bit of Tekken 6 online, but to be honest with you, I think I'm mostly because we were in like university at the time, and one of the guys was like well into Tekken. I was like, oh hell yeah, a Tekken friend finally. Like, you know, like like somebody else who has the sickness that me and Adam have. Like and I remember doing like a few rounds with him online and doing okay and thinking like, right, that's cool. I'm gonna end my online career like on a good note. I don't want to get like juggled for 10 minutes and like never touch the ground. But yeah, like the one thing I remember about the recent Tekkens is they've kind of like improved the watchability of it. You know, like you get to the end of the round where people have no health, and it'll start doing like slow-mo, like when you're about to get that last hit in. So they've just gone like nuts on the presentation, but from what I've heard, like the super fans have always been happy since like I think maybe 5's the one that's looked down upon the most, but since then I think everyone's been pretty happy. But I'll go down some of the most well used characters here, because like I said, there's only 3 that tick all the boxes for every game. So yeah, King 1/2 because it's because like Tekken has full on like anime storylines. Like we didn't know as a kid, but we were playing a full on anime game, which I think is some of the secret spice to why the wrestling was so good, because like Japan loves some good wrestling. But yeah, King is nuts. He's I'm just gonna have to describe him if anyone doesn't know. He's the guy with the jaguar mask who only speaks in jaguar noises. Even in the modern games, when everyone's got voice lines, it gives them subtitles. Everyone can understand him.
He's always helping kids though. Like when they do the ending stuff, he's always got all kids. He's like, he's always supporting them.
So he's a Mexican wrestler in a jaguar mask he has an orphanage full of Japanese live action children in his child ranch. I think it's like the classic, like he was an orphan, so he's given back to the community, and then
Tony Funk's dad.
And then someone kills him. I think Marduk, which is another fighter, kills him. And then one of the orphans is the current King 2, who's in like the modern games. So yeah, then we have Nina Williams, has also been in all the games, who is like, I guess she's supposed to be like a British assassin type person.
Yeah, she's Irish.
Femme fatale. Paul's another one who's been in every game. We talked about him a bit. He's the one with the giant hair, the cylinder. Pringles hair.
Yes.
You know what always stands out for Paul as well? And Tekken 2, when you complete the game of martial law, it's the most random, because loads of them have these like little in stories and it's cool. Martial law's in a little dojo with Paul.
Yes.
And they're just standing there and they're practicing the moves. So Marshall does his like backflip something, and Paul's looking at him and goes, and you see him trying it, but he just lands flat in his face. It's like, I did a funny.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the most random endings, because like all the story modes have like quite profound or like quite interesting endings, and that one's just like, Paul's been a dick. It's like, I just don't understand why.
I think in Tekken 3 as well as ending, I think we watched it, is he just gets pulled over by the cops on his way back from like winning the Iron Fist tournament, and he gets pulled over by like, you know, like one of those like cops who hides behind a sign and then rides out at people. Like,
yeah.
And like, I think we were saying on the stream that in the canon story, Paul wins the Iron Fist Tournament 3. He beats Ogre, but then he leaves before like True Ogre and Jin and Hayachi show up at the end. So no one believes him that he won. I don't think he got his prize money. Because we definitely haven't mentioned it, but in this universe, there's a giant company called, is it Mishima Zaibatsu?
Something like that, yeah.
Which I think is just like a Japanese name for like a conglomerate type of thing, because it's been in some other games. GTA originally had a Zaibatsu faction, I think. But anyway, so Hayachi's basically running a giant tournament to see who the best fighter is in the world, and sometimes you get cash money, sometimes it's like you'll become head of Mishima's like corporation or G Corp. So it's that kind of conceit. But then crazy stuff happens. Like Hayachi throws his son off a cliff when he's a child because he's like, "You've got the devil gene in you. I'm gonna try and kill you."
And that's how we fix kids in these type of games. It's like, okay, my kid's got a gene that I don't like. Let's throw him off the cliff.
I mean, in fairness, he does literally have a devil gene that turns him into a purple devil man, and that he inherited from his mother. So Hayachi, just for the record, Hayachi does not have the devil gene. He is a normal a normal human in the
He's
world.
Not normal. He's not normal. Have you seen the size of his forehead? That's not normal. I'm sorry. And also, wasn't his one of his special moves a headbutt as well, wasn't it?
And a power bomb, as we found out. He's honestly, Hayachi's one of the coolest like characters in all of fiction, I feel like. You can see in our very blurry PS1 background that so Kazuya is his son, who he threw off the cliff when he was a child to see if he had the devil gene or not. So his Kazuya's revenge is to throw Hayachi off the cliff in his like ended movie. Which is cool, and then he does his little like weird smile at the camera afterwards. So then, you know, the intro movie to Tekken 2, Paul, like if you remember, it starts with Hayachi clawing his way back up the cliff.
I did actually post today on Instagram and on our Facebook page the intro to Tekken 2.
Yeah.
Like,
can you imagine that though? If you'd been playing from the first game and you're like, "Oh shit, Hayachi's coming back," and he's just like, "Rah!" Like in the rain as well. And yes,
it's like foreheads, it's like all shiny, but his hair's still pointy. It's like he's been thrown off a cliff. He's managed to do his hair though. It's fine.
He's had by Tekken 2, Hayachi has killed his wife, then tried to kill his son because of their evil devil genes that's inside of them, which again is true. Like they do have they are kind of controlled by a devil gene that makes them.
He wasn't just paranoid, he was actually like right.
No, it was well like say founded, but
he trained a bear as his real son as well.
Where's my son?
He basically adopted a live bear from the forest and trained it to fight in his Mishima style karate.
But didn't they do a video? I might have made this up. I don't know if it's real. If anyone can find it, you know, on Tekken 1 where he drops them off the cliff. There was I'm sure there's a video online where they drops them off and he just falls through loads of different other games or through loads of different random like scenes where he's just constantly falling, and it's just like
Maybe
I don't know
that
why
might
it's
be
done,
a meme
but
video.
Possibly it might be the most random thing I've seen, but I just remember it. And then when you posted the image the other day, it just brought back. I was like, I think I remember this meme, or it might be something I dreamt about. So, but again, it just made us laugh.
Also, so yeah, like Kazuya is basically like the main character of Tekken 1, but he's never painted as a good guy. Like in the manual, it's like Kazuya like will do anything for power, blah blah. You know, he's come for revenge against Hayachi. So he actually ends up being one of the main characters, I would say, of the series, like Kazuya Mishima. So he's the one who ended up going into Smash Brothers, you know, like the Nintendo fighting game. Right. And then when they revealed him in his intro video, he throws loads of Nintendo guys off the cliff, like like Ganon and like everyone, and then he drops like Kirby off, but then he like floats away in the background.
Damn you, Kirby, we will get you. Yeah.
That's so who else do we have? Like Lee, I don't remember much of. He's Hayachi's adopted son. He's
the one with all the kick
white
moves,
hair.
wasn't it? Yeah. Because this is where the game, like, sorry to go off on different times. This is where the game stands out more. It's where Mortal Kombat and stuff like that was all punch and kick. You had they had like certain experts that were grapplers, certain experts that were punchers, and certain experts that were kicks. So if you tried using any like the punch moves or stuff like that with a kicker, it just didn't really have much effect. But some of the combos and some of the moves you could do, I think Lee was some of the spectacular ones as well. When you got going with these kicks and stuff like that. Because, but no, I just remember that. Sorry, it just jumped into my head.
No, definitely, because we found that out when we were playing. It's like there was certain characters where like, I really need to like stop pressing the punch buttons because he's just changing stances or whatever for like Warang. But yeah, who else we got? Yoshimitsu. He's pretty iconic in video games as a whole. I never liked him much as a kid, other than him being hilarious to watch.
He was one of those where he was a nightmare to play with. Yeah. And because his moveset was like really complicated to learn, and
it would drain your health a lot of the time as well. His own moves, you had to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go and like meditate and stuff like that. It was weird. If you pressed the wrong button, you would like start sitting down. It's like, oh fuck, I've fucked up again here.
Well, there was like a Harry Carey move, wasn't there, where he like stabbed himself with his sword?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if someone was behind you though, you could actually get them at the same time. So it wasn't totally like worthless. But yeah, you could also like pogo on his sword and crazy stuff. And he's an interesting one because he ends up in Soul Calibur as well, and that is like canon, as in one of his ancestors is the guy in Soul Calibur, and it's just like generations in the future is like Tekken. It's like same moveset, which is great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think as well because his lore always used to change. He was supposed to be like a samurai, but then he was like supposed to be an alien. Then it turned into a kind of a robot, like Jack as type thing or something.
I think it's like whatever. I've done a lot of Tekken research over the past few weeks. So he's part of the Manji clan, which is it's like Mishima like rivals, but he's kind of like a Robin Hood basically. So he would want to steal the Tekken money, like to give back to the poor, or rescue Dr. Boskonovich, which happens a few times, because that's what he does at the end in his Tekken 2 end, and he blows up that helicopter, like he rescues and does his little helicopter sword.
I'm trying to think as well, because there was another character in Tekken 2 that I absolutely adored, just because it was an interesting fighting style as well. It was the cop, was it Lee Wong? Was it Lee Wong or something it was called?
Is he just called Lei? Like, is it L-E-I?
I'm never going to get the names right, so I do apologize, guys.
I think it's like Li Lu Long or something, but yeah, like Adam was playing as him and doing pretty good because he had all like the Jackie Chan moves and stuff, didn't he? Like, anything you've seen in a Jackie Chan movie.
But you could do where you've done a few moveset, and he used to turn you like it was one of those characters that when you turned his back to the fight, you thought he could actually be more dangerous because his moves were like more stronger, like from doing the backflips. But it was like drunken boxing style as well, because if you pressed a certain combo, he went like all get like
drunken master sort of,
and he could drop to the ground, couldn't he? Like drop and then do like loads of sweep moves and stuff and catch you off guard. Not that I could ever do any of that as a kid.
But his range used to be quite big along as well, because when he lied on the floor, and if you timed it right, he does a sweep, then from that sweep he does like some kind of twirl and does like an uppercut.
Yeah.
So he goes from like a distance from like that to almost across the whole screen that he could get you. So that was like the little tricks of the game that I just fucking loved, because it just took it to that new level as well, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
like I always gravitated towards like the goofy characters, I think, as a kid, because I was always looking for like that fantastical element. I mean, I still look out for it today. It's why I like, you know, like monster movies and superhero stuff. So like I always gravitated to like the weirdos, and I think like Jack was a standout for me, like because I like giant characters, and he was just so weird and funny. Like that's a thing Tekken gets, I think, way more than other fighters, is it's funny. It's really stupid, but it has its stupid side and it's fun, and then it can like switch immediately to like, you know, Hayachi versus Kazuya, like fighting in a volcano. Everything is like, it's ridiculous and fantastical, but like, you know, it's like father and son destined to destroy each other. Like it can flip that switch immediately, all in the same game, and I think that's why I loved it so much as a kid.
And again, I know spoilers if you've not played this game as well. If you haven't played it, what the fuck are you doing? Did you flip your shit? Did you lose it on Tekken 2, the end boss, when you get against, when you're fighting, like say, I can't remember, Kazuya, that's it. And then you beat him in the first round, you get great thing, and all you see is the devil eyes pop up, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
And you're like, and it does that thing where it's like all the mirror effect going into the background, so you can see yourself fighting. It's like, what's happened to the stage? Like, where am I? It's just like a black void. But honestly, like, and obviously we didn't know why or anything as kids. It was just he's a devil. He's just called devil as well, like on the health bar. And yes, he had eye lasers as well, which no other character had any. Like,
they were so frustrated. I'm getting like the rage. Just like I haven't got the controller in my hand.
Yeah.
But how much I used to think, because as soon as the eye lasers come out, because he used to do two moves, the straight one.
Yes.
So you always have to duck. Then as soon as he done the straight one, he done the fired up and fires up in the end. It kind of like goes across the whole screen. It's like, you can't even fucking block or dodge this bastard.
You had to like,
what do I do?
Yeah, like, because sometimes I wasn't very good at the sidestepping in Tekken, because you could go down like towards the camera, I think, and there was some extra moves you could do that way. But if you pressed up, you would just hop, like do a little hop. It wasn't like Mortal Kombat where you had this like big like arcing jump, and like Street Fighter. Like the Tekken characters are fairly grounded, and like unless they're doing like flip kicks and stuff. But God, Devil.
Unless you're Roger, a genetically altered boxing kangaroo, for God's sake.
Yes, the perfect soldier. Apparently, that's a Kazuya invention. He was the one interested in the animals, so when he was also becoming the devil man.
Of course.
The thing is, we tell people about these type of games, they go, "What the fuck, were you on some kind of drugs?" No, they were on drugs when they made them.
We weren't all on the same drug at the same time. So
I did think it was silly as a kid though, how Kazuya had sort of like furry devil pants. Like when he transformed, he had like, you know, you could see where his torso stuffed, and he had like, he didn't have like cloven hooves, he had sort of like talons and stuff. He was very cool though. Like if I could draw, I would have probably been drawing Tekken characters like as a kid, but it was a bit too advanced.
Used to, because many people might not know this about me, but like I'm very like good at drawing and stuff, but I just don't use it. But back in the day, I would sit and draw Tekken characters.
I thought you were going to say you had fluffy devil pants. That's what I said back in the day. You had fluffy devil pants to wear.
Well, allegedly, Adam has the devil gene. Allegedly.
we just haven't got him on the final boss yet. There, that's all.
Yeah, you haven't seen me final form yet.
Oh. God. It's going to be like Silence of Lambs, isn't it? Where he's like, you fuck me, I'd fuck me.
So Tekken...
I'll say that in the moon,
Oh, it is devil pants.
These devil pants and pork chimp, that's what Adam's going to do now. So.
Pork chimp in fluffy devil pants.
Right. Yeah. So it's at some point during Tekken 2, Kazuya also found the time to have a child, and that's what kicks off Tekken 3. Is we get like an 18-year gap, and then it's like suddenly the new generation is here, and we get Jin Kazama, because was it Jun Kazama was in the in up to Tekken 2, and then she kind of goes away after Jin shows up.
It's just like I've done my business. I'm out of here. Bye.
Yeah. But actually, that's kind of like the end credits stinger in Tekken 8 is like she appears right at the end, like after the dust has settled, and she hasn't been in a Tekken game for like a long time.
Yeah, she was in Tekken 2, a cameo in 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And then there was 3 games where she wasn't in.
Yeah.
And then in 8, as you
just see her shoes
again.
basically at the end, but it's because she's like got that iconic sort of weird like soccer mom look, like where she's just got like leggings, like a white hairband, and like sort of ballet shoes. So yeah, like the Tekken 3 is basically where everything goes out the window, even more so. Like, you know, Kuma dies and is replaced by Kuma's son, so every bear after that is like the son of the Hayachi's favorite bear son.
My bear son.
I think this is where Armor King 1 might die and be replaced by Armor King 2, who's just his brother or something.
Because there's like Jack or
GuN Jack, because I mean Jack is like a mass-produced robo guy, because you basically get like Jack numbered. There isn't one, I don't think, apart from P Jack. He's the only one who's like a one guy.
P Jack. I remember this one being. This is the introduction of the most annoying character in the world, though, isn't it? Eddie Gordo.
Yeah, and Tiger, who was just his like disco swap.
See, I was class with Eddie Gordo.
Anyone could be class with Eddie Gordo. It didn't have to any skill. It was literally.
This sounds like this.
You can go like this and say, "I'm going to beat you."
This sounds like that you weren't good with Eddie Gordo, and you're just attacking me because I was good with Eddie Gordo.
We couldn't beat Eddie. Me and Paul were like, "Damn that Eddie and his breakdance kicks."
Yeah.
I can remember the Tekken 3 launch because you remember. Where? Oh, what the fuck?
How'd you do that?
What?
I don't know. Let's see who do this.
I think I blame Chris. Oh my god!
What's happening?
Magic's happening.
I'm not doing that.
BP was doing it the other day. Was it?
Is it?
It wasn't.
Is it mapping your movements or something?
Possibly, yeah. I don't know.
Oh,
the magic happened again with me.
I thought I was the magic man on this podcast.
God damn it.
See if I do it again. See what happens.
Man.
I've
been showing up.
I don't know how. But yeah. That's completely thrown us now. Sorry. I remember the launch for Tekken 3 because game has moved in the town so many times, but you know when it used to be next to McDonald's in Sunderland Town Centre. It used to be used to be like this really dark, dingy little place.
That was still there when I worked in the Bridges game. They had 2 stores like round the corner from each other for some reason. I never understood.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Was that where you went to get it?
No. I walked in and. I think a month before they released it, they were giving people the opportunity to win a game.
Whoa.
So what they did is who could finish the round, like one round, you only got one attempt, the quickest.
Yeah.
So you had to pick characters and like say you put your name down. I think I cheated a little bit. I went for martial. I went for martial law.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I'd done it in about like 30 seconds. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Didn't hear fuck all. So someone must have just basically picked a character and thing. But these were the types of the promotions that you heard about in America and stuff like that, but they didn't do anything like that over here. So
true.
Again, it's using that kind of like excitement and building up, and I think that's when like the marketing campaign started actually getting a bit fun. But I remember when Tekken 3 came out, just for that reason, because I would basically, after given me email address, I was like waiting, saying, "Oh, have I won? I've done really well. He didn't touch us. It was a perfect round." But yeah,
is it because you did loads of backflip kicks in a row?
Yep, exactly. I think I've done 3 in a row, then Snidey punch just to finish it.
I'm just trying to think. So yeah, we played this one on stream, and this was the one that also introduced like a fair few new characters, but all of the fan favorites were back in some form. You know, like King, Kazuya, like Paul, everyone. But yeah, like this one introduced like Brian Fury. I think was like a standout. Like when I was a kid, because he was just like a massive crooked cop in like snake pants who was also a cyborg or something, like resurrected and couldn't be killed by bullets.
And also, he did the best DDT that's ever been depicted in a video game ever.
Exactly. And that giant
even on
kick.
wrestling games, nobody's done a DDT as good as that. I dare say it's as good as Jake the Snake Roberts DDT. Like,
yeah, it's like one of those like roll and snap ones where they flip over afterwards. Awesome. Snake pants as well. They're always they're always in fashion. Maybe he is a Jake the Snake stand-in.
Possibly. Like what was the DDT? The DDT was short for Damien's dinner time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure it was. I might be.
That's the thing. Like, he could make that move, right? You know, now DDT is just like a throwaway move. It's just like a filler. Back then, when Jake the Snake was doing it, it was that good and well executed. That was the match over with if he got that on you.
Do you remember because he was the one that used to do the lead up to the DDT as well. So he used to get you up. He used to do a short arm clothesline as well.
Yeah.
So he used to pull you in with that, and if you hit that, then he would hit you with the Damien dinner time. We're not going to call it DDT anymore. It's just going to be called Damien's dinner time now.
He would feed you to his snake.
Yes.
Not
the Lee snake that Lee would feed us, but yeah.
Yeah, but we have to talk about wrestling when Tekken's involved, because like one of the most popular characters is just a Mexican wrestler.
Yeah.
To be fair though,
apparently he was like
wrestling game we got.
Yeah, around that time, especially. Like, can you imagine? Like, well, we don't have to imagine. It was literally like, I've seen that on TV, and now King's doing a suplex. And it's like I've finally like someone's recognized me, like my kind of thing. But yeah, like apparently, like he's based off Tiger Mask, who is a real guy in Japan. He's a very famous wrestler with a tiger mask, as his name would suggest.
To be fair.
So this was
fair, though, a lot of the characters he used artistic license, shall we say, from a lot of different. They're not saying that they ripped off Bruce Lee at all with certain characters. Just saying.
I don't know why there has to be a Bruce Lee in like every fighting game series, because Street Fighter's got a Bruce Lee as well. And
well, yeah, I think it's just because he's one of the most famous fighters that's ever lived, isn't he? So
I guess he kind of had his own style as well. You know, like So if you want a fighting style.
What was it? Was it Jeet Kune Do? I think it was.
I'm not gonna try and.
See, I was a massive Bruce Lee fan back in the day. Like, used to watch all his films and that. But then I grew too big and couldn't do his style.
So Adam's main in Tekken 3 is Dr. Bosconovich. Is what we found out on the stream. Not really. But yeah, like Tekken 3 it kind of got, I would say, weirder with the characters. It added like a few like more sort of clones as well. We got Panda for one thing.
Yeah.
And what was I'm looking at like a giant list of names here, trying to figure out. But yeah, Zhao Yu as well, or Xiao Yu, the little girl with like the Chinese fighting style, who just wanted to open up a amusement park. And in her ending, it was like an anime thing where Hayachi had went and changed all of the brand into like Hayachi Land. He's like, and there's rides where it's just Hayachi, like, you know, like planking, and you like ride on his back and fly around. It's so good.
Hold on, I'll just rewind a second. You know, we're talking about DDT. I'm just looking at the chat here, and Lee says he DDT'd a lad that was beating his lass up, and then his staffy bit me.
Lee's
the true hero.
Just like a weird story, like, you know, he's just going, I just randomly DDT'd this lad, like in the street or something.
And then a staffy decided to take a chomp out of you. All right. Totally.
Then true ogre.
That's what that one's called. It's called Dog's Dinner Time, not DDT.
We're broken poor Jake, bless him.
It's all right. I mean, what else am I gonna say? That Hayachi staged another Iron Fist tournament the sole purpose of attracting Ogre, who is some kind of supernatural being who kills the greatest fighters, and Hayachi was like, I want that power. Like, I'm gonna kill Ogre. So unfortunately, Ogre's who kills the original king, Paul. So your favorite dude is killed by Ogre, and then
I remember,
Orphan has to take over.
Because I know, like, say, this is gonna sound weird, because what I loved about the Tekken 2 as well, because there was a realm of realism to it where it's basically like there was a prize, and then it goes batshit crazy with the devil gene. But again, you can suspend the belief there. But when Tekken 3 come on and they brought in a mysterious immortal like Ogre, and it was just like, so now we're going really batshit crazy with these games now.
Yeah, and it was like and he was basically like the devil stand-in, but he just had fire breath that he could do in a straight line or an up and down line. So yeah, and this is where it is revealed at the end that Jin also has the devil gene in him, but his just gives him like a tribal tattoo on his forehead and black wings.
The black wings were cool though, I'll give him that. It was very Devil May Cry at the time. So.
Yeah, but that only shows up in like the end where he like chokeslams Hayachi through a brick wall and then like spikes him on the ground, and then Hayachi just sort of like gets up afterwards and is like, damn you kids.
Yeah, but he's like flying towards the moon.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like, what?
But they have to show the shot of like Hayachi no-selling it like the friggin' Undertaker.
Yeah, basically.
He's like, at least he didn't throw us in a volcano. It's all good.
Yeah. Because I don't know. I think that canonically happens at the end of Tekken 2. I think we're to believe that Hayachi dropped Kazuya in the volcano after he beat him as the devil. And that's why Kazuya takes a break for a few games, I think, and then he comes back a bit later because nobody stays dead apparently. Also, I saw there was like a cutscene where Hayachi gets like thrown miles by someone, like by Kazuya, I think, and then lands in a grave, and then is just lost for like 2 months, and then claws his way out of the grave again. And it's like
nobody dies in Tekken.
Well, I think some people do, but apparently Hayachi Mishima, the human who doesn't have any superpowers, is unkillable.
It's those wooden sandals, man.
It's the wooden sandals were fucking mint. That and his hair kept on getting more spiky. Like in each game or each thing, they would just go, right, what can we do to his hair to make it? We'll make it a bit more grey. We'll make his tash a bit more pointier as well. But it just his look never really changed except from like the hair was in. But just
he got more buff as the game's gone on. He got bigger.
We all that happens to us all.
He's basically like a cool version of Hogan as well, because he's got like the handlebar and like, but. I mean,
and the receding hairline at the back, but
a little less evil than Hulk Hogan.
No hot dog skin, no hot dog skin, no.
No.
Oh, everyone in Tekken has like impeccable fashion as well, like especially from like the third game onwards, like King in that like purple tracksuit number thing with his sneakers, and you're just like, hell yeah, King.
Drip King.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to get Jake a King mask. So, like I know, that would be a...
It's like it goes down the neck and everything, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's like because as a kid,
bust, isn't it? It's like
as a kid, I just thought he was like a lion man, like a tiger man or something. I was like, like there's no guy in there. Like it makes sense to me. I've played other fighting games where there's a green man and stuff.
Just to take a step away from the actual games, because I know in 2009, I think, or 2010, 2009, there was a release of Tekken the movie.
Yeah, right? I haven't seen it. Like, did you end up watching it?
I watched it.
Everyone hates it, though. I know that much.
I don't think it's as bad as some of the movies.
Am I correct in thinking
it's not as bad as Street Fighter? Just saying.
Yeah. But am I correct in thinking that it is Shang Tsung is Hayachi, like that actor?
Yeah.
That's good casting.
Luke Ross is in it as well, like from Blade Trinity.
Okay.
But it is pretty much just basically the Iron Fist tournament. But
Yeah.
I didn't think it was as bad. I know it didn't get like any like cinema release or anything but as a game release one go, it wasn't as bad as some of the horror stories that we've had.
Yeah.
I would recommend watching it just for the crack, to be fair. It's not I nearly made Jake mad then. It's not as bad as Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but
oh. No, I know it's bad. I just enjoy it. No, but that's like that's made me the most eager to check it out, because it might be a good palate cleanser after Street Fighter. Thinking about it.
I can't believe we're reviewing that this weekend. But yeah,
honestly, like everything we've talked about here is prime for a movie, though, because it shouldn't be hard to go wrong. Like, you've got all these guys, and you've got a monster transformation at the end. Like, it's just the perfect formula. Like, you don't need to waste time with like Tekken 1. Just go straight to 2 and have the backstory be like, like the first tournament, like quick flashback. Then just flash forward to Hayachi clawing his way up the mountain, and we'll go from there.
To be fair though, I know I've got that a game stick somewhere kicking about.
Yeah.
What I should do is I'll give it to one of you guys, and you should do a full go through, because it's got like all the old Tekkens on it as well. So it's got Tekken 1, Tekken 2, and stuff. We should get Jake to give us all the endings and all the the story modes, just to experience it, like new.
When it's possible, me and Jake are planning on like doing like a session where we're in the same room together.
Yeah. Right.
So like we should do one where we can like just play through loads of games like that. That would be cool.
So you should be together. You can like touch each other and stuff. Not like that. Not like that, Lee. Lee, no, Lee.
Yeah,
down.
that's why no one else is invited. Because like the ending...
sometimes I feel like I should have a squirty bottle, something for Lee. Squirt Lee with a squirty bottle. Down, Lee, down.
Yeah, I mean, Lee's probably the first one of us who will get something that like attacks him out of his computer that the fans can trigger. Like that's well in his wheelhouse. Like a suit that zaps him every time Hayachi punches him.
I don't know. Are you actually worried for Saturday, like what Lee's going to be dressed up as? Because he's done it now for a few times, and we've got Street Fighter.
Are we going to get him
in full Ryu? Yeah, Sunday. Sorry.
No,
are we going to get him in full?
Chun-Li. I reckon Chun-Li.
I mean, I was thinking dressed up like a dictator, but that one might get him cut off.
And Bison Lee, or no, we'll get Graham to do that with his tash. We're fucked. It'd be interesting if he'd done Blanca. I don't think he would sit there in green all the way through.
I don't think Lee would make himself uncomfortable to make you uncomfortable. Like,
oh man, so it would be like in the movie, but it would be like, Charlie, we're coming for you, Charlie. We're gonna get you. And then Bison pulls Lee's dog tags out, and he's like, Lee, Charlie, Blanca. And then he gets turned into a mutant.
Lee's just in the chat. I really don't have a costume this time. I don't believe you, Lee. I'm sorry. No.
It'll be Sagat. He'll just have an eye patch, and he'll have shaved himself.
He's like the hairless Lee Wonder.
So like,
I might just shave my head like Zangief, like, you know.
Yeah. I think you could pull off the mohawk look.
Well, we could. We might have to test it out.
So, like, I don't know about anyone else, but this takes us into, like, the dark times for Tekken, where I don't think I played a one, apart from Tag Tournament, which was just, like, a greatest hits sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I played a numbered Tekken until 6, so skipped 4
same.
and 5 completely. I don't know if you checked any out.
But I don't think... Like I invested any more time. I think I got them. Like it wouldn't have been bought on release. It would have been bought in, like say, the second-hand shop or time. But I think this coincided with a lot of other games where the fighting games kind of dropped off.
Yeah, like the shooters came in pretty much. Do you think?
Yeah,
it was like the Call of Duty era, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Medal of Honor.
You could
Medal of Honor.
Because the online play for beat 'em ups for me, it just killed the fun. Because as I said before, you get the people who are experts at that game, and it becomes unplayable. And we know internet connections at that time, like most of us were using dial-up, so the lag and everything just was not fun. And that's where they wanted to try and move the games to be like online play, where it was like fair enough co-op and stuff like that. I think Mortal Kombat tried to do a platform with Sub-Zero where it was like a straight like levels where you would go through Sub-Zero.
That was still PS1, but yes, they did have they had like a run around beat 'em up on PS2 as well, Shaolin Monks. So yeah, you're right, like people were sort of trying to branch out a bit and try new things. I think I would have probably like enjoyed Tekken still, but yeah, you're right. Like I don't know what it was. It just like fell out of fashion. Like nobody, like maybe if I'd bought Tekken, I don't think anyone would have wanted to play it. You know, like again, like 1-on-1. Because I don't remember playing Tag Tournament 2 with anybody. I think I just played it by myself for the most part.
No, and I think that's where Tekken does fall down a little bit. It's like fair enough. When you get through the tournament side, that's great, but the repeater playability isn't really there unless you've got someone to play against. And that was where we were kids at the time. As I said, with me and my friend, we used to go around each other's on a weekend or after school, and we used to play like on the Mega Drive together or on the PlayStation.
True.
And I know it's going to sound weird, but like having micro machines on the Mega Drive, where it was the first game that came out where it had controller ports in the game, so you could play 4 players on the race section. Like that was just revolutionary. Like trying to do that on a little 30-inch TV as well, where it had 4 panels. You and your mates like run around on micro machines.
And everyone had to like bring something. It was like, you got to bring a controller, otherwise this whole thing falls apart. Like I don't have 3 controllers. Like
no.
It makes it a proper like community experience. But yeah, I wonder if that was it. Is this like our childhood dying and everyone had to go off? Like everyone, all the friend groups like split up and we weren't at each other's houses anymore until like, I don't know. I did some of this stuff for the GameCube era, I feel like. And then FIFA took off as well and people used to get together and play FIFA. I just want to quickly touch on some comments because Lee's got some updates about Tekken 4. He's like, Tekken 4, you find out Hayachi's been keeping his dad in the basement for the last 20 years. And yeah, that's Jinpachi Mishima, who's an even bigger version of Hayachi, basically.
Yeah.
He's I don't know, they don't really go into him much, and he dies in that one game and turns to dust. He's one of Wang's friends, who, if you remember, Wang was the old man who's like, whoa, the drunken fighter. So Jinpachi is like, he's underneath Hayachi drops a boulder on him or something, and he's been standing there holding the boulder until like he starves to death. And then as he's about to die, some evil force takes over that isn't the devil gene. It's an unnamed evil force, and it just like resurrects him. I think it's called like, is it Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection? That one might be called.
For me as well, I know this is me sounding old and ungrateful, but they start giving you too many characters as well.
Yeah.
So if you've got too much choice and stuff, for a decent fighting game, and again, this in my day when fighting games used to be good and well, like if you've got 12 or 14 characters to choose from, that's more than enough. When you've got 28 or even 30, you become a little bit overwhelmed with choice. And it's like when you're sitting with the other half on a night saying, what shall we watch? Flicking through Netflix or flicking through like something just to find. You can probably spend about half an hour trying to find something just to watch, because there's just too much variety or choice now.
Then you've run out of time to watch anything.
No more time.
Do you I feel like there is a sweet spot though, because I don't think you can go back to like OG fighting games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, where it was like 8 to 12 characters depending on like which version you had in Street Fighter. Like I feel like if someone if Tekken 8 came out and had like 8 characters, I think people would be disappointed. So I don't know, like, but I get it though. Like when you have like 40, that's your whole other problem where it's like, are any of these actually different? And like, yes, in a lot of the cases, but do you have time to try them to find out? Like,
try and master them.
I have liked some modern Tekken characters though. You know, like some of the new people. Because when I dropped back in for 6, when that was like on the 360, like I did like some of the characters because there was that robot girl who was like Dr. B's like creation who had like chainsaw arms.
Was it Nancy?
Yes.
Or Elisa or something, I think. There's a few Tekken characters who just have like normal-ish sounding names, and it's kind of hard. Elisa Boskanovich. She was a robot with chainsaw arms.
I remember that.
There was also one in Tekken 6 where it was actually a non-player character, which was called like Nancy MI847J.
That's a giant robot, yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like a giant robot, to be fair.
That was who you fought before whatever the boss thing was.
Yeah.
And again, to have an old man rant for the podcast as well. So stage 4 of Paul's old man rants. It's they do a lot of the games now. Like I don't know if Tekken does the same, where you don't unlock the characters, you've got to buy the characters. So it's like downloadable characters and stuff like that. I think that's such a rip, because that was part of the fun, as we said, it was unlocking the characters and working out which character you completed with would get certain ones. So that was quite like the accomplishment. So it's almost like going back to like the old style of games where you used to actually want to complete games to get the end screen. But now it's just like, can you remember an end screen from many games that we play these days?
No, and you know what, like because of like the rise of the fighting game tournament and like live streaming, you can't lock the characters anymore because it means tournament organizers have to sit and unlock the characters on like multiple versions of the game, which was a real problem in like the Marvel vs. Capcom days, because that was like 40 characters, and you can't show up to a tournament and be like, no, we don't have all the characters unlocked. You're gonna have to. So you're gonna have to put Cyclops on your team. We don't have Shuma Gorath unlocked. Sorry, kid. But yeah, so like then that's the problem you also run into. Like, and then I think what they've tried to do to solve it is like stupid costumes you can dress people up in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to dress King up in a different outfit. Like, I want him to look like King. I don't want him to like have a bag on his head and have like, you know, rubber ducks attached to his belt, and he's coming out with like a broom that he swings around, and I'm like, what's even happening anymore? But I think like people love that, or you know, competitive fighting game fans seem to love the stupid outfits, but to me it's just like a visual like vomit on the screen.
Visual vomit.
I get it. It's like, again, something that you've, like, as you said, it could be like your favorite star, and it's like it almost going back to the WWE days. It's like getting your favorite wrestler that's been doing a circuit for all the world, and then they put him in a stupid gimmick, and it's like it doesn't, it takes away the kind of love for it as well. So it's almost making a mockery of this amazing character that is King, who can do a fucking standing Frankensteiner and take someone's head off. Again, I know it's like the little touches what I love, and I love that they've kept it through all the games. It's like, you know, when you pull off a move, it's a little pink flash.
Yes.
It's because there's nothing as satisfying as seeing that little pink flash, because you know you've done it. Yeah. It's like, that's your little prize for getting it right. It's like, poof. Oh yes, I've got it. Yes, it's gonna work.
And the Tekken impact sounds are absolutely amazing. Like that when you like land the big hits and stuff, and it's that whole like clash noise. And like you say, the weird clouds. And when the block, you know it's bad, because it's like you just get some like little dust popping off and like, and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna be in trouble now. Like when I do this big move.
So you do the pole punch and say, oh no, it didn't work, I'm stuck in this stance, no, I'm dead.
Now they're gonna get a little throw. Also, one underrated thing that we noticed while we were playing is the after the fight like replay is very important, because it's like yes, I did pull that off, and here's the replay, like showing it. I just love like the whole presentation of Tekken. They've always been like up in the game, and it's amazing to see that slow-mo, especially when you watch some like competitive players and it keeps going in the slow-mo, and then they'll get out the way just in time, and then another slow-mo happens, and you're just like, oh, what's gonna happen? And they've added like super moves now, so like cutscene moves where it'll do like a big animation, which some people hate. I think they're pretty interesting most of the time, but others hate them for like slowing down the game and stuff.
The one I saw, because like I said, I did put a clip up of a king fighting, like I think it was in Tekken 8. Yeah. And one of the special moves he does is the pedigree, and it goes like dark, and it looks fucking phenomenal. I'd just say, but you've got to forget, like people say, oh, it slows the game. No, you for that other person to hit that move, it's like, great, I've finally done something. It's not like where you play Super Street Fighter, where you hit the trigger button just as you got the power bar setting up and you would hit your special move. You don't get the joy or the gratification out of that, where it's kind of like,
I will say I will correct you, that is Mortal Kombat that does that. Street Fighter has full-on moves to get your specials up. You're right though, Street Fighter is triggers and then a massive thing happens. Mortal Kombat, sorry.
But with Tekken, because I used to be a proper dickhead. Like, I'll be honest with you, I used to love.
I was going to ask, did you know the rolling death cradle with King? His super move that was all of the chain grapples that would take off all of your health.
Not all of it. I used to know to a degree. So I used to basically get them on the ground. Used to run and do your tackle.
Oh yeah.
Then once you got the tackle, you used to do your punches. Then you used to lean back. Then you used to put them in a figure 4 leg lock. Then if you got it right, you could turn them over and put them in a Boston Crab.
Oh no, that would have been so much health taken off at that point.
I remember, but like because this is where the game as well is far superior to most games. It's clever and it knows where the characters is. So if you're like further away and you've knocked the character around, if you can press the sprint button, and if you get sprinted up to a certain degree, you would stamp on the character.
Yes.
So it wouldn't just run over them. So that would be a good thing. And again, it's like the running tackle as well, or running drop kick, or whatever.
Was like the spear, wasn't it? It was great.
Yeah, the spear was amazing. But it's
it was like a big shoulder charge as well, wasn't the way you'd be like, and it would like roll backwards loads of times.
Or if you just do Jack's watch the squad, I guess. Coming and he couldn't stop it. It was annoying because it was like, oh, can I get out of the way of the bastard?
Adam knows.
Yeah, I know. Last week I was gutted. Like,
also, he has the move where he sits on the ground and he's like, just being annoying.
To be fair though, if there was going to be a pork chimp character, Jax would be the pork chimp character.
That would have to be the clone.
Yeah, like with like a chimp skin, but like just the same moves.
It's just oh yes. But yeah, like so recently, like the new Tekken games have taken to adding like a story mode in them with like with 7 and 8. 7's dead interesting because the story is framed around like a journalist trying to find out what happened. like a journalist goes to interview Hayachi, and then he's like, this is the story. This is what Kazuya did, the bastard. Also, at some point in the games we skipped over, Jin starts World War III officially because he's trying to lure out the thing that created the devil gene, which is like an ancient Egyptian like Anubis thing called Azazel, I think.
Oh, I remember Azazel. Yes.
It goes a bit Exorcist when you think about it. But yeah, so like Jin starts World War III to lure out that, and he's like, you know, I'm sorry I did that, but I had to lure out the ultimate evil by being fake evil.
To be fair, it just sounds like Chris now. That's a Chris thing would do. Chris would start like the biggest war just to for something like that to happen. Damn you, Chris! You better not be a Tekken man now.
So then in Tekken 7, it is like Kazuya's return to take down Hayachi finally. So I think like the last section of the story is a giant fight between Hayachi and Kazuya, with Kazuya finally taking down his old man, probably after like a million transformations and like other health bars. Because it goes like the presentation is like, you know, fight cutscene back in the fight, you know, like power up, like, oh, he's the devil now. Then Hayachi beats the devil out of him, and then it's just like a 1-on-1. And then again, they've carried that into Tekken 8, where that is like Jin's redemption arc and being like, he like, you know, he overcomes the devil gene and then has to like take on his father in like, you know, the battle to end all battles, like light versus dark. So like I do like that element of it, that they've kind of gone like really like Shakespearean with the sort of the stakes, and like, you know, it's like it's very much like a tale of father versus son forever, like framed around demons and a fighting tournament.
It is. The story mode's all like it's a solid story for a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, it's most fighting games now. Like, what's Mortal Kombat on? I can't remember. Like,
it's on like
crazy
12
amount
or
of
something, isn't it?
It's ridiculous.
11
so
technically, but yeah.
So having 8 actual games through the story, I still think it holds up. I will try 8. I promise you. Like anyone who's watching, I will give it a go.
I think you would genuinely like the story mode, because it's like it's fun. Like I've watched footage of it. It's fun, and it's got a little bit of that silliness where it's like, oh, now we're playing Tekken Force mode again, and you're just gonna fight loads of like jack robots, and everyone's like in the like switching characters.
I remember that was so annoying.
Yeah, and then like in that part in the story when it's a big skirmish, like King comes in, and all of the you know, the Mishima soldiers are like, King's here, King, like start cheering him on and stuff. It's still very silly, but like I say, it can switch modes into that, like, now it's an anime fight. Like, I mean, you've both seen like a bunch of One Piece. It's like that's what they do with the Mishimas, is they have like an hour-long fight over however many rounds of like Tekken.
now, Jake, I think you've just stumbled on a money-making idea.
Yeah.
If they do Tekken style but with One Piece.
Yeah.
So have all the fights through the One Piece, like Luffy versus like Jin or and that would be quite interesting seeing.
They might do like we're in Tekken 8's infancy. Like I think it came out in like February, basically. Sort of just before we started like doing this podcast. Really, like Tekken 8 was coming out when we were doing our first sort of like Ramblecast stuff. So yeah, like I think
was it January of this?
It might have been late January, yeah. But so the only thing they've announced so far, I think, is that Eddie Gordo's gonna be like a DLC character, and they gave him the
no.
Sorry, what's that guy called? They've given him the Killmonger haircut. You know, like how every character has that haircut now, like since Killmonger came out. So so like we could have, like, they've had guest characters before. I was gonna do like a quick rundown of them, but Luffy would be up there, I think, at this stage.
Just imagine a One Piece fighting game though.
They've had
I don't know how they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, they've just been like Japan only for the most part. They were doing them like back on the Super Nintendo, funny enough. Like it's but no, like you're right though. Like they haven't had any like good anime fighting games. We are getting like Dragon Ball Sparking that's coming out later. That might be good. But
Lee will be buying that, no doubt.
Probably.
I was just trying to think, like, is there any like dumb characters we haven't touched upon apart from the Alex the Velociraptor?
Oh, what's the little dinosaur fella called? GuN, him.
Well, he's a guest character, so I was gonna touch on that. So for guests, we've had Akuma from Street Fighter, who's like the evil, like Ryu and Ken's evil counterpart. Yeah. So they actually rolled him into the story, funnily enough. So, like, Hayachi's wife hired Akuma to kill Hayachi. And then he just shows up in Tekken 7 like, I'm here to kill you. Like, it's like, why didn't you kill me before? And I think his explanation is he was waiting for Hayachi to get stronger. which seems really stupid. Then they put Negan in also from The Walking Dead. Like, did you hear about that, Paul, at all?
No, I've never heard that.
Yeah, so it's like actually the actor, like, from the TV show. I don't
also
know.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Tekken. I don't know how he plays or anything, but that just seemed to come really out of left field as far as I was concerned.
That didn't seem to fit at all, though.
No. But he's obviously fits right in because he's just in a leather jacket and has a spike bat, so like, fair enough.
So one of his moves just pulls out the spike back from his back.
I think he does use Lucille a lot. And then there was the basically brought in someone who we probably wouldn't know so well because it's like another fighting game series called Fatal Fury. And they brought in like their M. Bison character who's called Geese. Who's just like a big samurai looking dude.
Geese-ian race. Geese Herald.
Yeah. And there, GuN, the manga character. It's apparently a comic about a little dinosaur. He just showed up in Tekken 3 and we all went wild because he was like a little Yoshi.
Tekken's not afraid to try things as well, because I remember the beach ball game as well.
Yeah, Tekken Ball.
That was just the Tekken Ball game. That was the most weirdest thing, but like strangely addictive when you start playing it. Though, it was kind of like.
Yeah, we played a few rounds. In Tekken Tag, I legitimately liked Tekken Bowling because you could play bowling in that one. I think they brought it back in 7, to be honest. And there was little Hayachi trophies. I think that's what you get for winning the Iron Fist tournament is the Hayachi head trophy. We should all get one.
It's like life-size head size of like this big. Yeah. I know you mentioned before you had a few questions from the creeps.
Yes. I was definitely gonna jump into those in a sec. Okay. So I posed a question to get the ball rolling, which was which of the Nerdy Up North members is most likely to be thrown into a volcano and by who? My gut says that Paul would throw Goodwill into a volcano.
I could never hurt a Goodwill. He's too innocent. I'll probably throw Sammy in, to be fair.
What if he betrayed you, though? Like, right at the end of the fighting tournament?
It's one of them things that would kind of like, I would just accept it. I'll go, okay, Goodwill. It's for the greater good. I'm okay. I'm trying to think, seriously, who would I throw in a volcano?
You would throw this... You know what would happen? Okay, like picture this. You're Hayachi in this scenario, Paul. It would be Tekken 2 where I would be the boss, and then after you beat me, I would turn into Sonic afterwards, instead of the devil. And then you would have to throw me in there to get rid of the Sonic gene.
I would just lie there in a corner saying, "No, leave us alone, Sonic. It's not happening again." Oh, still have nightmares. I am.
And I think I don't know if we mentioned this, but my idea was to build robots based on Adam, and he can be the robot army.
Adam Jack.
It works perfectly because you can be like Adam. It's like the perfect first human. Like it's biblical. It's poetic.
I'll take that.
We don't need our egos inflated anymore. That's fine.
I think
I already don't fit through door frames. Come on.
I feel like Lee's like the Paul Phoenix of the group, though, where he's like he would try and do a backflip and just like crash through a wall or something. He's got a good right arm on him, and he apparently DDTs people.
Yeah. Chris can be Roger, the boxing kangaroo.
No, I'd be gone because of the height.
But do you know Roger's story that he's a deadbeat dad, like canonically? He leaves. He gets kidnapped, but it turns out he was just going to like eat snacks and watch TV, and the mother and child go through an entire tournament to try and rescue him, and he's just hanging out in a room on a sofa.
No, does that sound like something Chris would do?
Yes. Chris the evil man, but yes.
and then Alex becomes the stepdad because Alex is more of a gentleman, the Velociraptor with boxing clothes.
Oh yeah,
it's a very serious Shakespearean series, is Tekken.
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
It's got layers. It's like an onion.
It really is. I think that is genuinely what attracted me to it as a kid, because I was like, oh, it's got the silliness, and then it also has like the cool factor, where you can be like, oh yeah, like Jin kicks ass like in Tekken 3 and stuff like that, and then you can be like, oh, I'm gonna pogo around on a sword as Yoshimitsu for a second.
But yeah, there's still no reasons to pogo around though. It's just do it for the crack.
Oh yeah, like there's law reasons for it all if you want to look into it. But it's also fun that you can have like a surface level like appreciation. But I think I was saying this to you guys like in the chat, like, is Tekken like one of the coolest things in the entire world? Like, based on pure like cool factor alone.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's much that overtakes Tekken, which is why it would work as an excellent movie if people just put the effort in.
Yeah.
If you go back from Tekken 1 to where we're Tekken now, it's probably the more like it has probably the most iconic characters. Looks wise, it's absolutely fantastic. Like even like the fighting arenas, even back then were just like better than what we've seen. I will say it that it does probably is better than most ever fighting games that we ever got. And I used to always get wrong for saying beat 'em ups as well, because everyone said no, Streets of Rage is a beat 'em up. I
don't mind. Like it gets the point across, really, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, true.
I am beating them up in Tekken.
I do think this is the one that will stand the test of time. It doesn't seem to get old. Long as the story's good and like it keeps the characters like fresh.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it's having its like kind of like renewed like fandom now with Tekken. Tekken 8. It seems to be back on the thing, because I know Tekken 6 didn't do great. Tekken 7 kind of got a bit of fanfare, but as you said, no one's saying a bad thing about Tekken 8 though.
No, and even though it wasn't so popular like with us, in like the fighting game community, like in the tournament scene, Tekken it's always been like held above everything else as like this is like, you know, the technical person's fighting game. Like Mortal Kombat will show up at the tournaments. Like obviously Street Fighter is the main game. I think it just always will be, because it was sort of like the first good fighting game, like Street Fighter 2. But Tekken is seen as like, you know, it's like the chess of the tournament. It's not the flashiest. It doesn't have the most people who play it, but it's like highly respected. Like anyone who's like a Tekken master is like, you can't accidentally be good at Tekken. Whereas you could argue that there's silly characters in Mortal Kombat that are like overpowered, and it's like maybe you could win by fluke. I think in Tekken, there's no fluke winning of anything with like the pro.
Unless you picked Eddie Goro, just saying.
I don't know, like maybe a pro Paul player might be able to beat a crazy Eddie Gordo.
Yeah, maybe.
To be fair, the only way to do that would be like blocking for most of the game, then just timing the ultimate punch to the degree. But
but like Lee's agreeing with us on the DLC thing, that it's getting a bit expensive to be into fighting games at the moment, because it's a full price game, and you're gonna have to, if you want all the characters, you're gonna have to buy a season pass, which is probably going to be another 20 quid on top and stuff like that.
I think I know like people like talk about inflation and stuff like that, but it is pricing the casual gamer out of the market now.
Yeah.
Because that, like, I'm one of those that like I can't invest like hours and hours playing a game, where if I want to play like Tekken, I would pick up and play it for half an hour, and then get the buzz or get the endorphins that I need, and then put it down and do something else. But 70 quid, I can't justify paying 70 quid for something that I'll play for half an hour.
And like the story mode that I was talking about is like 2 to 3 hours tops. So it's like, yeah, it has like limited value, like just to play on your own. It's tough though, because I think like the creator of Tekken, Harada, has been out there recently saying like, well, we've got to charge for things. How do you expect us to like keep the game running and stuff like that? And on the one hand, I do understand that, but then on the other hand, I'm like, it's not really the customer's problem at the end of the day. Like,
that seems a you problem, not our problem.
Yeah,
like, you know,
like if they can't keep the servers running at Bandai, like just based off like game sales and stuff, it's like yes, I understand, you know, like businesses are proper like cutthroat these days, like, you know, more so than ever, but I don't think it's fair to put that on the customer. And I'd probably prefer it if like base Tekken was free, and then like charge us for seasons if you're gonna add people, and to keep like charge us to play online if that's how it's got to be. But it would be class if we could just download Tekken for an afternoon and be like, come on then, come around, we're gonna play like Tekken 8, and then
play old school type thing, get the big screen on. But I still think we like if we can organize, I know it probably won't be streamed or anything like that, but if we can organize like a Tekken tournament, like I know
with like the Discord, we probably could, like if we could rent a space, or if someone's house is big enough to facilitate, it would be fun to do something like that, like a scrub tournament where it's like none of us are like experts at the game. I don't know, we could if we get into it though, we might want to practice up if it was like on a set date.
That's the thing, if just basically going with the screen, like someone gets the game, even if we go old school, go Tekken 2 or something like that. But
well, that's
something I'll look into.
It was something I did want to touch on. It's just like game mechanics based, but like, so like Tekken 2 was like if you look at it side by side to 3, it's a slower game. And I think that was by like design at the time, just because of like graphical constraints and stuff. They were like, you know, making 3D fighters for the first time. But I think that let people get in while it was like understandable as like children. And then when things sped up, that was when I like lost a bit of like sort of understanding of the game. Because I remember when I was a kid getting Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, which is a big long title. And I used to put it on like the low speed because it would default to like turbo, and it's like, yeah, everyone who's played Street Fighter for years wants to play a turbo. It's faster. It's like this, that, you know, like it's more flashy. But I was like, it's too fast for me. I need it slowed down so I can understand it. And I think Tekken 2, they probably thought that was a problem, that it didn't have a very good frame rate, but it actually made it like really accessible to like everybody.
No, definitely, and I think you're 100% right, because it gave everyone that like kind of was on the same keel or the same playing field when it comes to it.
So I remember Mortal Kombat being brutal. Like when you fought the computer, like they would just like do that like 10 punch thing, and suddenly all your health was gone, and then Sub-Zero would fucking freeze you, and then that was the end of it. It was like I didn't get to play, I didn't get to do anything.
When you got near the end boss and you got Goro and he's just like jumping, do that, jumps in the air and lands on you. It's like fuck
just
off,
picks
now.
you up and like beats you like with his other arms, and you're just like, nope.
We'll get Adam to do that demonstration to Chris next time they see it. Do a Goro on Chris.
Bang, bang.
But yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think I said it in the chat the other day when we were talking about Tekken. Tekken 2 is in my opinion, I'll say that my opinion, it is the greatest beat 'em up game that's ever been made. It's nothing's ever came close to it. Just as you said, looks wise, fair enough. It was of its time, but still looks color wise absolutely stunning. Gameplay wise, everything works the way you want it to. It can be fun for new people. It can be fun for experts. And it's not overly complicated to the degree where you get frustrated with it.
Yeah. I think that's like a good. Yeah, it's a good middle ground of Tekken. Like it's got loads of characters, because like I say, you can unlock kind of like an extra character for each one in the base game. by going through it. So it's got like something for everyone, and it's not too fast, it's not too crazy. There is crazy characters, but a devil is about as crazy as it goes. I'm gonna get through the rest of these questions. So Lee said, if you're a Tekken character, what would your signature move be? So we've kind of said that Adam's gonna pick up the Goro moves, much to Chris's chagrin. I don't really do much fighting or anything. I think mine would have to be like just some kind of like cannonball move. I think I could throw my weight around. Like that's where. So it'd be like that Bob guy who was one of my favorites in Tekken, who was the karate man who got fat on purpose because he was like, I need like the ultimate form of like mass and speed.
I'm gonna be ambitious and say the King's Frankensteiner. I'm gonna do that on Lee. I'm gonna do a stand-in Frankensteiner on Lee. So I'm gonna jump somersault.
Let's see. Did we get any other serious questions, or am I just scrolling through crap here? Oh yes, of course. Joe gave us serious questions because he's our smartest fan. So who was your favorite final boss fight in Tekken? I'm guessing Paul's gonna say Devil.
Just for the drama of it. Like I know in Tekken 1 it was Hitachi, like the end one, but
I think was the sort of as crazy as it got in that game.
But no, just like because as it was hard to beat to start with, and when you got past that first one, you went, right, I know the formula, I know how to beat him, and then you see the eyes pop up, and like when you see that for the first time, it does blow your little mind.
And I remember thinking as well, like that Kazuya seemed badass because he fought you in like a suit, like a full suit, and I'm like, oh no, this guy means business. I think Devil takes it for me because I didn't really like Ogre, and since then I feel like it's just been an escalation of like weird monster characters. And I'm not really. I think the regular, as Joe puts it, the regular lads with a little devil gene sprinkled on, I think is the sweet spot for me. And then we have already answered Joe's second question, was did we watch the Tekken movie? So we'll be happy about that. And like favorite character storyline. Because I think Hayachi is definitely the standout for me, just because of how ridiculous and he seems to just survive on pure like anger and like grit. And it's like I say, he's in Tekken like lore, he doesn't have superpowers other than whatever that electric stuff that comes out of him is.
That's just the anger.
But like I say,
kinetic energy, that's how his beard's so pointy, because of the kinetic energy. But
But like I say, he's got all of the silliest storylines and usually the silliest endings. Like he's launched everyone into space before just to try and kill his family.
To be fair though, them are the ones that like actually lead into the actual story of Tekken. All the others are quite silly, as you said, with
or it's very Law's usually just trying to get money from the tournament. Lee and Paul are like hard on the luck, need to win this fighting tournament. But I don't know, did any other characters' stories like stick out to you as kids? I mean, the whole like King Armor King, that was dramatic and complicated.
Yeah, I think King for me was the standout because obviously I've been a massive wrestling fan for like ever.
Yeah.
So
you're like, what? He's dead. Like Armor King, someone killed Armor King or took his eye or something like that, and now he's back for revenge.
Yoshimichi never really made sense, any of the endings. I didn't have a clue what the fuck was going on with most of them.
He was like you say, you didn't know if he was a cyborg, like a samurai. Was he real? Was he an alien? Like he never
did this really happen?
Is he just like an agent, like a government agent? I don't know.
Nina was always the sexy ones. It was always like quite the boobified end credits where she used to get herself in like predicaments as well. I always liked them a lot when I was a younger kid, but that was for reasons, shall we say.
They always had that part in the intro movie where they would show the girl character, especially on the PlayStation, being like, look at our technology to show cleavage.
Look at how curvy we are now, yes. Curvy and shiny.
Yeah, because I did like Sophia from Soul Calibur or Soul Edge when I was a kid for similar reasons. But she was pretty cool though in fights also. I could never learn like Nina or Anna. They were like weird characters and never really and then Joe's got a couple of silly questions as well, like who's your favorite random unlockable like weirdo? I think mine's P-Jack for sure, because he's just like, he's the prototype version of Jack, but also, like I say, he looks like Dutch from Predator with his just like army hat and sunglasses. I'm like, I don't know what this guy's deal is, but I'm down for it.
Mine, not the one I like the most, the one that I think it'll be interesting if I answer the most disappointing. When you finally unlocked Devil to play as, because Devil was such a hard character to do. And he was fucking shit to play as. He was terrible. Like his moveset and everything was so boring. And just had no power as well.
Because they probably took away some of Kazuya's moves. Like he had that like spin kick thing where he would do like loads of sweeps and then do a giant uppercut. They probably had to take some away to put the eye lasers in, I'm guessing.
But it just didn't have any flow. So you got excited because you unlocked the Devil, and you're like, yes. And there was the Angel as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, Angel Jin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, there was like a lady Angel, but she was just like a costume swap of Devil, I think, really. There has been a light form Jin, like light demon form in 8. Adam, what do you think? What's your favorite Tekken weirdo? Don't say Mokujin.
I was going to actually. I just like the randomness of it.
Yeah, to be fair, he had like silly endings as well.
Style you were going to get, like, so you're going to a fight with someone, then like you've just got some random characters' moves.
You might not have even unlocked them at that point.
Yeah, you're like, who's even this? So I like that randomness factor of Mokujin. So the fact you read me mind on that was just like,
you guys have hung about too long.
Probably, true. But basically 20 years of friendship at the minute or more, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? That's they're doing it again. No, it's not doing it.
No,
I wanted fireworks way before people. See if I can get fireworks.
Oh,
fireworks.
Stop it. I don't know how it does that. I don't like this magic. Witchcraft.
I don't know how it was working.
Joe's also got a silly question saying, which character would you like to spend an evening with? And he means enjoying a pint or a nourishing cup of Bovril for the non-drinkers.
Obviously Bovril, yeah.
I'll drink with Paul. I'll drink with Paul just because we've got Ari Paul.
Paul, would you consider changing your second name to Phoenix?
I would have to change my hairstyle if I did. It was like I have to go. Like,
he wears it
take
down.
Take the beard off here when it grows back.
Yeah.
I don't like it when he wears it down. It doesn't look right.
This is interesting. So I like my favorite characters are like the Mishimas, but I would not want to spend any time with Hayachi, Kazuya, or Jin. Jin might be okay.
They would throw you in a volcano, Jake. They'll go, no, he's got the devil's throat in him. We'll throw him in the volcano.
They are not, and a lot of like the Tekken characters are like cops and government agents. I'm trying to think like who would actually be fun to hang around with. Maybe Kuma. Like, would he be a good time? He can understand English and stuff. He wouldn't just murder you.
He would give you nice hugs.
I could try and help him. I could help set him up with Panda, because that's like a long running thing where he's got like unrequited love for the panda.
Everyone loves a panda.
Adam, is there anyone you'd hang out with? Do you want to get wrestling lessons from Armor King or something?
I do, but I think what would be even funnier would be Dr. Boskonovich.
Just rolling around on the floor.
Yeah. We'll just have a laugh, man. He's already pissed anyway, isn't he? So
he could do some super science and sort something out for you in the house, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like, obviously, King would be my first choice, but the Doctor, nah, it's just too funny.
Let's see if I can find any other questions. Possibly not, you know. I think that's it.
Oh,
I think that's it. No more questions. I do have like the Tekken 3 manual here that I found that I've still kept a hold of, but it's not very interesting.
The artwork was always great, though. The artwork was always good.
But like, it's not actually that interesting. Oh, apart from this good shot, because like Hayachi had a cool like winter jacket in this game.
Ooh.
And you get like
there's a massive forehead for you.
Drip Hayachi. But yeah, like, no, I don't know. Like, any of you guys got any final Tekken thoughts or anything?
Where would you like to see the game go now? It's like, say, would you like it to be like a complete reboot, or would you like to see the Iron Fist, the King of the Iron Fist tournament starting again from a different perspective? Or
yeah, because like I'm just based on what I saw of the Tekken 8 story. So Kazuya has been defeated. So like the Devil Gene, Jin has made peace with the Devil Gene. It's not taken over his mind anymore. I don't think any important characters died in Tekken 8. So we are at a kind of a point where it could go either way, because a reboot seems logical, but I don't actually want to like play the the new class or anything. I kind of hate it when fighting games do that. Like, I want the classic guys to still be around.
Well, what I would like to see then is remakes with the new graphics and engine for the first 3 games.
Oh, that could be good. Like, because they sort of did that with like Mortal Kombat, didn't they? In 9, when you time traveled back to the first game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to see that with Tekken. Yeah. So like, just imagine playing those games with the same story and everything, just with 2024 graphics. You know what I mean? It's like, it'll be insane.
Yeah.
The nostalgia would still be there. Would take you back to playing it back in the arcade and stuff like that.
And they could have all the classic outfits that you remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Paul? Have you got any thoughts on?
No, I like that. I like that theory. Like Adam said, I don't think you can really change anything from that, because if anything we do differently, it might as well just be a new game.
It's tough because like Japanese games aren't known for like rebooting. They're more than happy to sit with their like really complicated storylines and just keep them going. Whereas I think like the Mortal Kombat creators get a bit scared every now and then and go back to basics when the laws got like too out of hand. But like anime law is quite happy to just keep on going. It's sort of like American comic books, where it gets to a certain point and you're like, what's even happening anymore? And they sometimes do like soft reboots, but then keep all of the canon, and you're just like, I don't know, it's like issue 2000 of The Amazing Spider-Man. I hope you remember roughly everything that's ever happened to Spider-Man.
Only thing I'd like to say, I'm quite happy. And again, this is me not being a bitch, but it is being bitchy a little bit. I'm glad that Tekken's never sold out and tried to do like a gimmick that is like Mortal Kombat, where the whole Mortal Kombat thing is based on the fatalities. Where Tekken, it's more about the gameplay and the story rather than watching someone's head get blown up or anything like that. So to me, that as a gamer, I enjoy that aspect more. That it's kind of like never sold out or never tried and cheapen what it does.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. Thinking about it now, because Tekken 8 was the one game that Hayachi has skipped in the entire series. He's gonna have to come back again. He's been thrown into the volcano, but it can't be the end of him. Like, he's gonna have to have a triumphant return.
He's gonna come back as a lava man, lava.
Will he be even more superpowered and evil? I don't know, but I feel like they can't have him skip a game and it not be a a sort of tease for like something else happening. I don't know.
So that should be the spoiler for the end of this episode: the return of Hitachi. Make it happen now.
Is this the time period where he went to Soul Calibur 2 because he was in that on the PlayStation?
Yeah,
version.
he was. Yeah.
Oh man.
But yes. No, I've got nothing else. Yeah, all I can say is like I love this game franchise.
Me too. It's gaming would be worse as a whole without Tekken. It's just it needs to be there.
And again, it gives casual gamers like myself like something to play and something to enjoy, and not have to feel like that I'm bad at gaming. Because I'm not a great gamer. I'm not like if you watch any of the streams, I'm not good at playing games. So this one makes me just feel like I can relax and enjoy it. So and it doesn't feel like it doesn't make us feel stupid though. That's a simple. It doesn't make a simple man like me feel like I'm stupid. So
no, that's awesome. But like I would say Tekken is up there for like complexity and stuff. So when I heard you were like a big Tekken guy, I was like impressed. I was like, damn, like like good Tekken players scare me.
I never said I was good. I just thought I like playing.
Yeah, we need to battle is what needs to happen. Yes. So we need to do the King of Iron Nun tournament.
The Iron Nun tournament. Oh, I'm starting with the artwork already. Yeah.
Well, Jake beat me. It was like 10-9 or something, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, we were close, but we were also being like silly and trying random characters and stuff. Like, who knows what would happen if we locked in and like actually practiced.
Eddie Goro was banned. That's fine. Adam's just gonna go. I'm just gonna punch him in the face next time I see him. It's fine.
Yeah. Ryan Fury do the big punch.
Yes. But yes.
Yeah. So.
But no, I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's pretty much all for me on Tekken. So thank you guys for joining me to talk about one of the most historic video game franchises of all time. We seem to basically just hit the giants at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I guess like we don't want to like focus in too far on things when we do these like topic episodes. Because it would be stupid if we were just doing like this is the Tekken 1 podcast where we're gonna ignore everything.
Yeah, imagine.
But yeah, it would be a nightmare because then you get all these nerds on screen going, well, Jake said this, but didn't this happen in such as no, it doesn't matter. It's what we feel. We love these games, and this is
shut up. I've got the microphone.
Gotta laugh.
God damn it, nerds. Yes,
we've been Gaming Up North, the video games branch of Nerdy Up North. If you've liked what you've heard, please search for us on any social media. We're on everything under Nerdy Up North. You'll find something.
Follow us on Twitch as well. Like I say, the Twitch streaming is hilarious. Seeing some amazing things happening, and also you get to see Adam take his shirt off. It will happen. We will one day get that to happen.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
But yeah, like the gaming stuff, I feel like we've been hitting a stride lately, and everyone's been doing good stuff. So I'm very happy with everything, and more Tekken might show up. There'll be more Sims. I don't know, Elden Rings, guitars,
love the Sims.
anything. But the podcasts, they stay on YouTube.
Yes.
But yes, that's gonna be goodbye from Gaming Up North. I think let's go avoid volcanoes for the rest of our lives and devils.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a goodbye from me.
And a bye from me.
Goodbye, everyone. I guess I'll go to this screen now just for a little bit, but we love you all, audience as well. Goodbye.
Goodbye.